You can't say I didn't warn you, but let's see what's in store next. Hello, welcome to BigWick Energy, a 100% automated copy trading bot fully managed by the Block Party trading team. It's exclusively available on Mizar, and if you want to get access, just head on over to mizar.ai, check out the marketplace, and we're right there. If you want a truly set and forget experience with automated trading, then this is for you. There is no monthly subscription. We only get paid if we win. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps us grow and bring you more awesome content. Enough yapping, let's get into those trades. As always, guys, we're going to take a look at BTC and see what it's doing. And unless you've been under a rock for the past 24 hours, you probably know that there's a lot of blood in the streets. In fact, there's been about $500 million worth of liquidations. I think a lot of people had some hopium and thought it was going to bounce. If you've been following really anything that we've been saying in the premium channels or on YouTube, then you'll know that that wasn't the case from a technical analysis standpoint, from an external market standpoint, from an on-chain standpoint, fundamental and new standpoint. It was all going to go down. But, you know, we kind of projected this and we made sure that our trades were all set up accordingly. Now, yes, we are in some longs, but we have such little exposure in our longs that, you know, we're just really waiting for that floor, and then we're going to start to DCA into those and bring them down and ultimately increase the take profits. But that being said, we also took advantage of all the short tokens, and we'll take a look at those. But first, let's have a look at what Bitcoin might be doing. Now, I do need to start off with the fact that the Dixie is absolutely pumping, and when the Dixie pumps, then it generally crushes Bitcoin a lot. So people want to get their money in the US dollar and make some money there, which is fine. But, you know, this is a telltale sign. And let's take a shoot over to the Dixie chart and see what that is saying. And here we go. We're in this kind of broadening ascending wedge, which we actually know is pretty bearish, to be honest. But we hit a massive double bottom down here. And, you know, to be quite honest, I don't think the price could be following this projected line any better if I drew it on afterwards. It's going up, but what I do want to draw a bit of a your eyes to is that, you know, here's the RSI. It's at 76 at the moment. Now, if the price surpasses this point here, which is at 109,345, if the price surpasses there, and this can happen if we kind of make a bit of a slower ascent up, and the RSI doesn't cross there, then we're going to see a massive bearish divergence. It's not going to be that high, but this is kind of what we're talking about. If we see this really happening there or anywhere up to about there, then that's going to really signify that there could potentially be a massive rejection. And this doesn't have to make it all the way up here for it to start to break on down. I mean, logically, we could end up getting to around about this resistance and get smacked back down, so we could just wick up and go down, and we could not make it above the RSI there, and then we've got a big divergence in play. Now, the thing about these kind of markets is they're quite traditional. Things like double bottoms, 100-day, 200-day moving averages, 100-week moving averages, these things mean a lot in these kind of markets. So you better believe that a divergence in this capacity as well will mean something. So just keep an eye on that. But what I'm kind of going with this one is, when the Dixie drops, Bitcoin generally pumps. So we could still be in for a little bit more hurt on Bitcoin because we're not quite there yet. But, you know, it isn't the absolute be all and end all. There's many other factors at play, but it is a good indicator of actual real life money outside of crypto, what it's doing. Now, bearish factors within Bitcoin at the moment, we have lost like 3 supports. Just right on the bounce, and so we've got a whole new market structure here, and we've come straight on down to the macro channel. If we zoom out tons, if in doubt, zoom out, and you can see this macro channel which we're looking at. We went up into this ascending wedge, which broke on down, and we pretty much predicted that would happen. Well, we didn't predict it would happen. We predicted what would happen if it did happen, which has played out. And we're now down at the bottom of this channel. So I'm not saying that this is going to completely definitively stop us, but we could see a bit of resistance here, especially as we approach this really psychological resistance of 20k. And if we start to consolidate around here, maybe do a bit of ranging, then it could give us a bit of a bullish sentiment. However, we do not want to hang around too long below this channel, because it is actually, if we jump out onto the daily time frame, what we can see here is a little bit scary, because it is actually a bear flag, which we are looking at. If we have a look here, so we've come on down, and if we start to break down, whoops, sorry, there we go. If we start to break down out of this channel here, this is actually a bear flag. Let's get rid of that. And this could really spell some trouble. We could definitely be looking at the lower end of this bear flag for sure, which is, you know, the 17,500. But also on a more macro sense as well, I do actually have a 16k, which we could potentially be seeing as well if we were to go out onto the weekly. And we have an descending wedge where we can actually see the bottom of it if we were to come on down here, which sits us around about here. So that I would probably say is pretty much max pain, not to quote the game or the terrible Mark Wahlberg movie, but yeah, so just watch out. If we start to kind of really crash out of this bear flag, then yeah, you know, it could be pretty evil. But I don't think that's going to happen, if I'm being completely honest. I think that 20k will probably hold. And for that reason, I'm not really going too hard into shorts right now. We made heaps, to be quite honest, over our heavily loaded shorts. We threw a few more shorts in there as well on the short tokens, just to pump up the actual price. In fact, we've done about, I think, 2x, maybe 3x the usual daily profit today. You know, I feel a bit bad saying that when a lot of people are suffering. But, you know, at the end of the day, you've got to play to what the market's doing. You've got to respect it. I mean, just because you want it to go up, it doesn't mean it's going to go up. But for a bit of fun, I did not update any of the current charts here on the actual portfolio list. Obviously, I know what prices we're at, and I know where we're at 100%. But I wanted us to go through it together. So I went in on ADA down as our new latest trade today. To be quite honest, it didn't really matter. Like, I'm currently still in TRX down. We'll get to that and why I hate it so much in a minute. But we're pretty much halfway through to take profit in about an hour. But I'll probably just be doing that, to be honest now. Probably doing one down token at a time. I don't want to overcommit to too many, and just manage that quite effectively and just eke out the profit. Without surprise, we all got heavily slapped with all the longs, of which we only have 15, to be honest, and we're at such teeny tiny exposure. We're going to do exactly what I said. We're just going to let them ride down and let the dust settle and see where we're at. But we can start to have a look at them, appreciate the pain of the longs. We've broken through this key support here at $5.529, and we're currently consolidating and pretty much retesting underneath it. So along with Bitcoin, if we crash, we're going to take more down with us. But again, not the end of the world, because we just have such tiny exposure in all these assets. BTC down. What do we have on that? 5% on that one. Absolutely crushed it. And opposite as well, BNB doing pretty well. We filled one safety order and only 8.8% down on that. It does hold really well, BNB, against Bitcoin. It is one of the assets which is just a really good safe bet. BTC down, obviously that absolutely smashed through the 9% target. EGLD, no surprise there. We're currently on one safety order as well, so we are playing underneath this. There is absolutely no way I'm going to do a safety order on any of these that are showing this kind of pattern right now. We are pretty much in a textbook retest to like key resistance that was support. Yeah, I mean, if BTC goes down at all, it's going to absolutely crush all these trades. So I'm just going to sit pretty with my one safety order and just wait until that comes. HNT was actually a bit of a fat finger. We added an extra safety order in there, not intentionally, a bit annoying. It's our only trade with 4 safety orders, and it's an absolute hanger at 23.8%. Again, we have so much allocation that we can throw at this that I'm not bothered. But like everything else, I'm just going to wait until we get a bit of a bullish sentiment. It really couldn't be looking any more bearish right now. We even have a tasty little divergence to send it down a bit more. But again, not the end of the world. IOTX, yeah, I mean, that couldn't have gone any worse, really. We went in on that one because that was a bit of a hopeful. We're finding a bit of support. This trade went out because there was a small chance that Bitcoin could break up on the pennant, so we thought we may as well go in for it. But like the other trades, you know, I went on this one because we're only at 50% longs here, and we're all at pretty much a few safety order 2s for the longs as well. So ultimately, I'm not too bothered. I've still got half of the max active deals ready to catch the bottom, assuming that I can't get out of some of the longs as well. Which I think we're not going to catch any knives, and we're just going to keep on playing these short tokens just to grind out a little bit of profit. On the way down, KDA, same story. In fact, actually not looking too bad. You know, this is the next key support to watch and break, and until then, it's very much same. Oof, Clay really got hit hard, or is that just me zooming out? No, it got hit very hard. By this, look at that, we are now down to a very key support here. This could get a bit bloody, but we only have 1 safety order in it, so not too worried at all. LDO, again, 1 safety order. This is now at very key support, but we do have another one down here as well. So these are the areas that I'm going to be looking and focusing on. Link down, very nice win there. LPT, there's my FOMO trade. Pew, got absolutely crushed like everything else. We're now at like everything really, at a key support, as you can see back here. Looking pretty nice. And if we even track further back, then I'm pretty sure we'll have maybe not too much actually. So we've got some key support just here, which is quite nice to see, but we did smash down on the lower end of this ascending wedge, which wasn't great. I was hoping we were actually going to break up, but I guess if you look at that now, that is actually, with these 2 last peaks, that is more of an ascending wedge, and it's a bit of a bearish kind of pattern there. So it came down, retraced perfectly, and straight on down. Mana, look at that, we are at key support as well on a lot of these. So fortunately we're on the right side of it, which is nice. But like the rest of them, if BTC drops, this is going to crush down. So this is the next area where we're going to be looking. I'm not going to go too back. We're not exactly in a macro trend at the moment, so we're still keeping it pretty local. Miner. Hey, look at that. Look at that. It's actually recovered a little bit. When I say a little bit, it's like 10%. That's pretty impressive. But this is where we've got our eyes on. We have a whopping 1 safety order in there. A lot of these, you know, they look a bit scary on there when you're looking at them, like 18-20% down, but realistically it really is nothing in crypto. We did just have an absolutely epic dump. I would be worried if we were like safety order 3s across the board, a few safety order 4s smattered in there, and we had our entire board at 30 max active deals. Then no, I'd be a little bit worried now, because I'd be thinking, oh Christ, you know, I only have quite limited capital. Like every safety order is going to really count, and I'd really have to just focus on 1, maybe 2 assets at a time. As it is right now, we can really just blanket trade. We can cover all the assets and some, and still have change to be playing with shorts. So just one thing to bear in mind, you know, when trading, certainly within DCA, entries are of course important. Like, don't get me wrong, you know, don't just go willy-nilly chucking entries and buys everywhere. But, you know, historically, DCA was just built by buy as soon as you close, and that was kind of it. But, you know, as time goes on, you realize that, yeah, that will definitely get you into some really horrific hanging positions. And whilst you know you will always get out if you've got enough capital, it's quite nice to not be stuck in trades with that capital kind of being locked up and not doing anything. So sometimes, you know, in scenarios like this, you just got to let them play out, see where they land. And if it ever does get to a point where you've got one safety order and you're 80% down, then take the loss, you know, like take the loss. It's going to be absolutely a minuscule amount, and just pull that capital out, or more importantly, free up that that deal space again, and just start churning it out, because you'll make it back so quickly in the bull run. And then, okay, let's go back to this metaverse sand token. That absolutely crushed through that support. Again, these are just markers where we're putting on and keeping an eye on. It's probably going to break if Bitcoin goes. Well, it's not probably, it's definitely going to break. But these are the key areas where we're looking at. And depending on what Bitcoin does, if we do go down to 20K, again, I'm not going to be buying anything at all. It's not until we start to get down to 20K and get back above something like 21.1K is really where I want to see it. For me, 21.1K, as we just established, is the bottom of that macro channel. Anything below that is technically a bearish retest. And so we could consolidate and we could get back above, but also in the same breath as well, we could be consolidating for another leg down. 16K is my personal max pain. That's based on the big old descending wedge that we saw, and yeah, it's very achievable, because that's kind of what crypto does to you. You get absolutely slammed by that first dip and you think things can't get any worse, and then the next one comes in, and then that's what true pain feels like. But again, I don't know, you know, it's a 50-50 thing. I'm personally not feeling it is going to get down that far. I think there is a lot of institutions out there that is looking to get Bitcoin at a discount. I think 20K is a good discount, but we'll see. Sol, we have broken that key support, and we're technically on a retest right now, and that's our next one. And then this is going to be the max pain down here. No, I say that's not going to be max pain. We can always go lower. Realistically, if Bitcoin's going to go or pass its absolute low, then this is the potential. Now, one thing to bear in mind, like obviously this is looking very bleak, but it is also, if you do have capital allocation, there really is going to be no better time to be buying. Like this is the bottom, guys. You know, we always talk about it. We always think like, oh, I really wish I'd bought at the bottom. You know, imagine how much it could be now. Well, this is it. You know, this is right now. We are at the bottom. I could not be any more clear about that. Like, we have a pretty much the lowest percentile, give or take, where we can be. You will very likely not be disappointed if you're buying Bitcoin now. You know, we're at what? We are currently at 21,290. Now, think back to what, November, when it was 65,000 area, and yeah, I mean, it's really as simple as that. Like, Bitcoin is one of the ones which it's gonna stand the test of time. So, like I said, don't come back to us saying like, oh, I wish I'd bought at the bottom. I just wanted to hold out a little bit more. This is the bottom. Who cares if it goes down to 18K, 16K, and you buy Bitcoin in spot at 21K? It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Like, nothing's going to change. So that's my advice. That's my rant. If you want to look at it from a more macro perspective, or a real kind of, I'm not going to worry about stuff, stick it in your Trezor wallet, whatever, and just forget about it, and it will be 100%. I was going to say 100x, and it might be 100x one day, but it'll be 100%, 200% before you know it. Look at this serum. We are on such key support right now. Sorry, I do find it quite quite interesting to see us just getting down to these supports and what happens. Right now, I don't have much faith. I think we're going to lose all these key supports. This is what I want to shine light on, which was really, really, really frustrating. I'm not going to swear. I'm trying to not swear on these, not for the kids, but just for own self-training. Yeah. But anyway, check this out. So here we go. Cool. Look at this. TRX absolutely blasting it down. That for us should have been a nice little pump, and then that should have been, yeah, awesome. That should have been 9% for us, right? On TRX down, TRX bear even. Let's hope if we're on the right asset. That's FTX. Let's get on the right asset. But instead, what does it do? Oh, it dumps. It dumps just because CZ has a weird pegging, a weird form of peg for TRX down to TRX. I don't know what's happened here. It's dumb. It's annoying. That should have been 9% up, not 9% down. So I'm not blaming the tools. We know the risks when I'm getting into crypto. Nothing's perfect. I have only myself to blame. But equally, I'm not worried. I feel Bitcoin's going to go down, so it's going to take TRX down with it. But for the sake of being a little bit cautious, as soon as this gets into profit, I am closing. Frustratingly, when I saw this at 2%, I was debating closing, but Bitcoin just looked too bearish, so I didn't. And then I looked at it again when Bitcoin dumped, and I thought this is close for sure. But oh no, we're now back to this level, which is just frustrating. But hey ho, whatever. XRP held like a boss, to be honest. That is comparatively held like a boss. That is currently 6.9% down with one safety order. All in all, everything is exactly where I want it. Like, I'm super happy to have these longs open because we can't just not have trades open. When we're using DCA, if I am wrong and the market does go crazy, then we want some exposure so that we're making some money. Trading isn't all just about kind of being smug and guarding your golds. You do need to get out there and spread your wings, make some money. But yeah, obviously do it safely and make sure that you are following a good strategy, like we are. Anyway, that pretty much summarizes the absolute bloodbath of a day. All in all, we are in pretty darn good shape and not worried in the slightest about anything. So that is great. Of course, if you want to follow along on this amazing portfolio, then you can do that on Miser. It's called Big Wick Energy Plus. And we just totally manage everything for you, from the take profits, the stop losses, the safety orders. Of course, give us a like and a subscribe on the channel. It gives us a warm, fuzzy feeling, and it makes us want to make loads more of these videos for you. Until next time, guys.